Podcast and break room show for sports card and hobby enthusiasts. Brought to you by Piece of the Game. And now, here's your host, First Pitch Mitch.
Happy Monday, everyone, and welcome to episode 10 of Monster Hits Club videocast / podcast / break room show. I am here, First Pitch Mitch, aka Money Mitch P, your host, with my co-host Steve, aka Quarantine Steve, who has not figured out a new nickname yet. We gotta think of one for you. Skull Steve. No?
No.
Okay. All right. Well, we got to come up with a new nickname for you soon. So, it is Monday. It seems like the world's falling apart around us, but you know what's not falling apart? The hobby industry, which is what we're going to talk about today. Steve, before we get started, I did want to make a announcement and actually dedicate this podcast episode. The Piece of the Game family did lose a member last night. Dave, our CEO and owner of Piece of the Game, lost his father tragically. Well, not tragically, but it was a little bit of a shock. So we want to send our condolences to, the Prince family, the Piece of the Game family. I know he was a great father and a great grandfather to his grandkids. And I lost my grandfather around the same age, so I know what they must be going through. And, at a time like this, to have something like that happen when there's so much going around, we love you, Dave. We hope that you get through this. We're thinking about you. We're praying for you and your family, and we're going to dedicate this show to your father's memory. And I just wanted to start on that. Put the somber behind us, but I did want to recognize that and let you know that we are with you, and we're thinking about you. But aside from that, like I was saying, Steve, it's a crazy world right now, right? And
yes, I just want to concur with my deepest condolences. That was well said, Mitchell. But yeah, we're at a time in this country where literally from day to day, you don't know what's going to happen. And without the escape of sport, I'm very happy that we found the hobby again, because at least this gives even if it's a brief reprieve from the absolute chaos that's going on. So
yeah, I agree.
It's a welcome, like I said, escape for even a few hours a day to just think about something positive.
I hear you. And here's the crazy thing. I called this episode The Upside Down because, it really feels like if you watch the show Stranger Things, it almost feels like we are in the upside down, like with all the stuff going around in the outside world, but also like within the hobby industry, the trends that we're used to, and it's the complete opposite. It doesn't make sense what's happening right now. Like everything is telling you, as whether you're an investor or a collector, whatever it may be, like where people are, there's so many unemployed people out there. You would think that, and you hear it all the times. And people that know the industry, and Gary Vee preached this all the time. Like when he does his speeches, he says that it's a bullish market, but when we start to hit a little uncertainty, the first thing that people are going to sell are their cards, and you're going to see a sell-off, and you're going to start to see the cards drop in price, and then that's when people, you may want to buy then, because the hobby industry has always been about those roller coasters, but it's never been at a peak like right now, and it defies logic that we are at the strongest peak in the hobbies I would say the hobby industry's history, that at least in my history of dealing with it, this is by far the highest peak I've ever seen, and it literally defies logic. There's no sports going on right now. people are out of work. We still have a large portion of the population unemployed. Where is this money coming from, Steve? That's what I don't know. I love it, don't get me wrong. It just defies logic.
As you know, and as you had spoke about, Mitch and I both live in the Hudson Valley, and I work in a hospital in the Hudson Valley, and unfortunately I've seen some and heard some horrific stories of things that have gone on.
You're breaking up a little, Steve.
Okay. I deal with a lot, I see a lot of people that are unemployed, and I don't know, because there's nothing in my personal experience at work, anywhere, basically in life, that would dictate that the hobby would just keep going up and up and up. As I said in the earlier podcast, my personal collection is, I do mostly Sam Darnold, and I didn't want to sell any of the Darnolds before the season, but I literally, some of these Darnolds that I've bought, I mean, I've made 4 to 5 times what I paid for them without any football being played, Mitch. There's nothing going on. And I just, for example, I had sent you a card. I bought a Darnold for 67. I mean, think about that. With nothing going on.
It's
incredible.
It is absolutely insane right now. And all sports are selling. Soccer's on fire now. The 2020 project cards.
Auto racing has got a kick too lately.
Well, yeah, that's the only thing that's going on right now. But even the Topps 2020 project, like, I could have never. We talked about this. I believe it was last episode. We talked about Topps 2020 project, and I don't think anyone saw that coming. If you would have told me to buy the ugliest cards in the set, which is what nobody was pretty much doing, pretty much, like, most people have their, art is obviously something that, the beauty is in the eye of the beholder. I get it. But, like, if you'd have told me to buy the ugly cards up, or what I would consider the uglier versions of the cards, the not so eye-catching, but maybe some deeper art, things going on there. If you'd have told me to buy those up because they're going to go up in quadruple, 100 times value, whatever it may be, because now nobody bought them because they were not appealing to the eye to most people, so there's a much shorter print run, I would have never even thought to do that. Like, that just never even crossed my mind. I thought it was just going to be like this cool product that, some collectors are going to really gravitate to because it struck nostalgia. Some of the art's really cool. Some of it's, but then again, it goes by taste. Something that doesn't look cool to you might look cool to me, and vice versa. So I get it. What do you say?
I lost you there for a second, Mitch. Say that one more time.
I said, what do you think? Did you hear anything I even said?
I did. I heard right up to the very end. I actually have a funny story, too. Is just to show the interest in the hobby, even more so than what people are paying. I listed a Lamar Jackson card for $47.99. Now, that's not a 99-cent card. I literally listed the card, put the card on, went to do a few things. The card had a bid within, I would say, under 2 minutes. So, I mean, it's not only what cards are selling for, it's an interest right now. To have a bid that quickly, I mean, you have an incredible amount of people looking for cards on eBay. It's great. If you're selling cards right now, it's phenomenal.
Your FaceTime's struggling today, Steven. Let me see. Maybe it's mine. Am I on Wi-Fi and the kid's sucking? Yeah, hold on. This could be the issue right here. I think we're going to rectify all of the choppiness. The kids must be sucking the Wi-Fi. I had my phone accident. I have to shut with the kids home on quarantine. on their iPads, doing a million things at once, playing video games. There's no Wi-Fi left. We talked about this in an earlier episode. I literally had to run a Ethernet wire, which I didn't even think I would be able to find one. I didn't think they sold them anymore. I ran like a 50-foot Ethernet wire from where I am downstairs all the way upstairs to where the router is. But Steve was a little choppy there, and I guess I was choppy on your end too, because my phone was on Wi-Fi and not on the old cellular network there. But I think we'll be good the rest of the way.
Sounds good. Where did I cut off?
You didn't cut off. You didn't cut off at
Okay.
all. No, you're good. You just you chopped off. You would just kind of fade out a little and fade back in. So
Okay.
I think we got the gist of the idea there. But it's like, where do we go from here? Where does the hobby go from here? I think the hobby is ripe for new things. That's what brought me to Piece of the Game. I thought it was really, really well done. I thought it was a new product that could really turn some heads and really start a segue into, because we've always complained about how cards use, jersey swatches that are whatever. They're bullcrap. Let's face it, the majority of them. Flawless does it right. If you're putting game used stuff on a card, I think it's that's what I'm looking for. Game used. I don't want a little swatch the size of my thumbnail on a card. I'd rather just have a nice card, if that makes sense. I almost think that takes away from some of the cards. Like, why does Prism put a jersey in there? And like, why?
I don't know. They're unsellable, so don't ask
unless you're pulling LeBron or like a Steph Curry, like a top of the line guy. Why? Why would you put a jersey swatch on a Prism? It just doesn't. It just doesn't work. The autos.
I think there's a couple things. That may hurt the hobby. The NFL rookie class this year is great again.
Yeah.
The NBA rookie class. Now Mitch. I watch a lot of college sports.
Correct.
Probably more than
You are basically like a library, an encyclopedia of college sports information.
This is what I would consider in the top 2 to 3 of the worst draft classes I've seen in the past 30 years.
For what, basketball?
So that's not going to be good for the basketball hobby. I mean, you're not even going to come near the prices of what things are being sold for right now.
You don't
So
think
think
LaMelo is going to? Is it LaMelo?
LaMelo Ball? No, I mean he probably
That was a
would be-
joke.
To put it into the last couple of years, I would say he's somewhere in the Kobe White, Rick Colin Sexton area,
And he's potentially going to be the number one pick.
and he's the number 1 pick. Yeah.
I mean, I love.
And Anthony Edwards is probably somewhere in like a Rui Hachimura type of scope, and Wiseman is probably in maybe like that Wendell Carter type of. So I mean, you're talking about guys that probably would go anywhere from between 6 and 12 in a normal draft, and those are probably going to be your top 3 picks. So that's not a good sign. The other thing, Mitch, and I want your opinion on this.
Go.
How many products could Panini come out with where it's pink, green, shimmer, 47 parallels, and I like them. I'm not knocking it. I just want your opinion. How many times could they keep doing this product after product after product without any real innovation, just changing colors? I mean, dragon, whatever the team is.
What they like to do is rebrand, or what I've noticed, like they're coming out with what they call Prism Update this year. Prism Update. So they're not getting enough money off Prism. They got to add a Prism Update to it, which from what I've been told is going to be like the replacement of Panini Chronicles. Which, if you know what Chronicles is, it was a combination of all different Panini products, like in one set.
What's your opinion on Chronicles? I like Chronicles.
I do like it.
It doesn't sound
I never knew.
like it.
I didn't know what it was last year. I used to see it all the time on shelves, and I never really bought it because I didn't know what it was. I never did research on it because I usually stick to, for basketball, I'm sticking to Prism. I'm sticking to NT. Flawless. I dabble with Noir because I liked the sneaker spotlight cards last year. I loved Panini. I loved Contenders Optic. I think that's such an undervalued product and such. I would rather have a Panini Contenders card versus. I'm sorry, Contenders Optic card over the regular Contenders card. That's just me. I think they're beautiful. I think that they're very well done. But like, I just think that there's so much with a rookie card stamp on it. It just waters down what a rookie card is. Like, you have 9,000 Zions out there. Probably not. I mean, I'm exaggerating, but like everything.
You're not exaggerating. I don't think you're exaggerating.
No, I mean, you know what I mean. But every new product comes out and has the rookie card stamp on it. And the weirdest thing is, Flawless doesn't have the rookie card stamps on it. It just doesn't. I mean, I know that maybe it's because when Flawless comes out, they're ready technically in season 2, but the year is really from the previous year, so they don't. I never looked into the logic behind why that rookie card stamp isn't on there, but some people love Flawless because it's all game use. So when you get that logo man, it's a game used logo man, you know. But it doesn't have the RC stamp on it. So some people go, no, it doesn't have the RC stamp on it. Nope. Some people are like, oh, yeah, it's game used, so that one's better. Some people prefer the NT one because it has the RC stamp on it. I mean, you could argue back and forth all day of what you want. Like, some people want the rookie card stamp on it. Some people want a game used patch. At the end of the day, does it matter if the patch on the logo man is game used? Does that add that much to it? I think it does. I think knowing that came off a jersey that somebody wore during a game is much more important than having an RC stamp on your card.
I agree.
Yeah. So
yeah,
that's yeah. But I've heard the argument that the NT logo man, because that's the RC, is the true logo man, which I get. People love NT. That product is dog shit aside from the fucking RPAs. It's complete
Mitch, how many
dog shit.
How many Paul Westfalls or Artist Gilmores? Well, I mean, how many Mark how many, even when you pull a guy like Walt Frazier, it doesn't sell.
No, yeah, you again, you're looking for the top guys, the LeBrons, the Currys. The LeBron doesn't sign, so you're just looking for jersey cards. You're looking for the Currys. Even the Durants. I mean, like those.
How bad are for what you pay for those cards? How bad are some of the autos that you pull?
I mean, I'm hearing a case is going to be somewhere around $12,000. So. And you get an RPA in every other box. So in that case, you have 2 RPAs, and who knows
what do you do if you spend that money and pull Tree Rollins?
It's very likely that that's going to happen. You know how many cases I saw open last year that had like a guy like DeAnthony Melton as the RPA, or
DeAnthony Melton? That's the good side.
Like, who's the guy? Oh, the guy on San Antonio, Chiminzi Matu.
God. Or the Nets bums.
Like, why are you making an RPA of these guys? I just don't understand how you could wake up in the morning, look in the mirror, and say somebody paid $12,000 for that case, and they're gonna pull. Let me think of a rookie from this year that. Let me see if I have any cards on this desk here of some rookies that I would love.
Be called like Keldon Johnson.
It's perfect. Like a PJ Washington who has upside. Don't get me wrong, but you're
okay if you pull PJ Washington.
No, not for a $12,000 box. But this is what I'm saying. PJ Washington is okay, and you're still. A PJ Washington.
When you think about it, if you take away, I'm not gonna keep talking, bitch. I want to count where I would be happy with PJ Washington.
A PJ Washington would not get you 1/10 of that box back or case back.
And just quickly off the top of
Now,
my head,
just
I would
imagine-
say that's the 8th to 9th, about the 9th best rookie you could pull. And you still wouldn't even...
Yeah, I would say probably top 10 from last year. Maybe...
I would say 9.
Yeah, maybe right around 10, let's say.
Yeah.
So for a top 10 guy... Well, let's look at 2018-19. Who are the top 10 guys you could pull? Obviously, Luka, Trey, Ayton at the time, Bagley, Triple J, Sexton. And Sexton is barely $1,000 right now. And I'm at number 6. I'm at number 6. Okay, Alexander, you're getting a few thousand for that. So you're talking about the top 6 guys will get you 1/4 of that case price back. So literally, you're hitting a Ja Morant or a Zion, or you just pretty much flushed away. It's a $12,000 lotto ticket if you're buying cases.
Make money back off a one-color John Stockton jersey card?
No, I don't think you could. I don't think you could. No, but I mean, you're gonna gamble because that Zion logo man is gonna. I would be surprised if Luka sold what? Oh my God, that lady that sold that Luka for like, I think she sold it for like $50,000 when it first
she pulled the logo, right?
Yeah, I think she sold it for like $40,000 or $50,000. I mean, obviously I don't know. It's hearsay. I don't know if it's true. Whatever. And the regular RPA sells for that much now. So, like, can you imagine
so
what?
What are you looking? Probably $250,000.
I think Zion hits $250,000 right out of the gate. Jason Dominguez. What do you call it? The super? No, and I mean that is easily. I say, wow. If Franco was close to $100,000 and Dominguez has.
What did Franco super end up going for? Like 80?
I think close to 100,000 after. I don't know exactly. It's somewhere between 60 and 100,000. Let's just say 100,000 it went for, and we'll take it on the high side. That would mean that Dominguez would probably go for close to, I would say, 200,000. His orange refractor, they're saying, is going to sell for at least 25,000. I don't know if it's sold already. There was one listed for 40,000. It's the only one I've seen. So if that's going for 40, and a Juan DeFranco one is probably still, I don't even know if it's over 10,000. You're talking about triple the amount.
Mitch, think about this for a second. How much money do you have to make after taxes to bring home $80,000? About 120, you figure?
No, it's close to. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it depends on depends on if you're single, have kids, stuff like that. But yeah, ballpark.
So you're talking about working for an entire year for a well-paid individual.
Yeah.
Just think about that. Think about the context of that.
Yeah.
It's insanity.
Yes, you could. Whoever hits the Jason Dominguez is going to be able to pay off their house easily. Like I'm talking about a New York mortgage, not like, nothing against people out in the Midwest, but a 20,000, 30,000.
The only problem is they'll sell for $100,000, and the eBay fees will be $90,000.
No, that's something you can't possibly. I don't think you sell that.
Yeah, I don't know what I don't even.
You gotta find.
What avenue do you even go about selling it?
You just would do it with a private collector, and they got so much money they would probably either fly you. I would assume they either fly to you to pick up the card, then they're probably gonna fly straight to Texas to Beckett or to PSA. Like you're spending that much money on a card, you could get on a plane and fly to wherever it is, pick it up, and that's a hardcore collector that's gonna do whatever it takes to get that card.
I actually have the Superfractor here. I just haven't told you yet.
That would be amazing. That would be episode 11. Steve reveals the Superfractor.
I was actually holding it for our next Raz. It's going to be the Jason Dominguez Superfractor. Surprise!
Yes! But how nervous would you be if you actually hit that?
Mitch, I get I pulled the Jay Cutler with you. I was nervous bringing that home card. It was $300.
I know, but what I was gonna say was, how nervous would you be if you hit that in a break and now you got to figure out how you're gonna go get that card?
I don't.
Do you just say, put that shit in a vault and wait until the buyer comes? Like, how do you buy a plane ticket and go? I mean, plane tickets are cheap now.
I would try to see if the breaker, if it was a big breaker, would organize something for me. I wouldn't want that card moving. I don't know. I'd try to figure out. So I honestly don't know, Mitch. You deal with a lot more high-end stuff than I do. So
not that high-end.
Would be a much better person to ask than me.
Not that high-end. Trust me.
Because to be honest with you, Mitch, if I pulled a $5,000 card, my first call would be to you, saying, what the hell do I do? So I don't know. I don't have the answer for that.
I haven't pulled that many $5,000 cards. Actually, I don't think I've sold one for over.
I mean, okay, Mitch. Let's say you buy an NT break. You buy a random.
4,000. Yeah.
$4,000 for the Pelicans. So let's say you do an NT random break and you pulled a Zion.
It's gonna have to be it's gonna have to be numbers. So because that's the only way people are gonna be able to afford it.
You tell me what
so you're literally talking about they're probably gonna have to do single number spots from 1 to
99.
Yeah,
1 to 25,
I think
99?
Is everything numbered to 99? I can't remember if it goes higher in NT off the top of my head.
I think NT is only to 99.
So so if they only go to 99, there'll be 99 spots in each break.
For just the Pels or the Pels and the Grizz, something like that?
Yeah, I'm sure they'll do PYTs, and then you'll buy your teams up, the ones that you want, and then
you're going to figure the Pels will be what, Mitch, for a case? $3,000?
Oh, God. No, that's going to be more than that. Dominguez is, let's put it this way, a case of 2020 Bowman with a jumbo case. 8 boxes in the case, and the case sells for, well, let me do some math now in my head.
$3,000?
No, I think it's a little less. It might be a little more. Hold on. What's 8 times?
It's
4,800. Figure 4,800, right? For
that much?
Yeah, there's 600.
That's going for 6 bills a box.
600 a jumbo box on average.
I gotta swear, for fucking 2020 Bowman?
Yes. Yeah, it jumped up really quick. So the Jason Dominguez hype is very real. So you figure that sells for 4,800, and then the Dominguez spot and a lot of breaks is right around $2,000, or the Yankees, I should say.
Yeah, I know.
So that's almost a third of.
So you're talking about if you buy the Yankees and the Royals. So the Yankees and the Royals are essentially half the cost of the case.
The Royals are about, I would say, I'll just round it up to about 500 figure, because I think they're anywhere between 450 and 500. So let's just go 500. Let's say, it's
so you can pretty much have Yankees, Royals, or the rest of the case.
Yeah.
What if I asked you could have Yankees, Royals, and the rest of the case? I haven't broken any, so I'm not really as familiar with the product as you.
I would go
the rest of the case or Yankees, Royals.
Well, no. Well, the rest of the case is $4,000. And I could get the Yankees and Royals for 2,500.
Let's just say, for argument's sake, you could have Yankees, Royals, or the rest of the case. What would you take?
Yankees and Royals.
I would agree with you.
And I mean, if I don't know why people would even buy cases, to be honest with you, because
what if I gave you the same option in NT, you could have the Pels or the rest of the case. What would you take?
Say that again.
What if I gave you the same option in NT basketball? You could have the Pelicans or the rest of the NBA. What would you take?
Well, the odds are much lower of hitting a Zion because there's only 99 of them. Zion's. Dominguez, you have his base autos. You could get money back on some of the base colors. You have refractor autos numbered to 4.9. Like, there's way more opportunity out there to hit. Obviously, there's way more print runs. And more cases, but at the end of the day, I would take the rest of the field against Zion in that particular choice, and because if you're giving me a chance to hit Ja Morant or a Kobe White or a Rui or who else? Hero. Any of those guys, I'm going that route. Plus, there's a chance of hitting
Mitch,
LeBron's.
Is basketball a six-man game right now with Rui, Hero, and Reddish and White?
Is it what?
Zion and Ja.
I didn't hear what you said.
Do you think basketball settled on those six guys? Zion, Morant, and Rui, Hero, Reddish, and Kobe White?
Settled how? Like with hype?
Those are the main six guys.
Rui, Hero, Zion, Ja Morant, Kobe White. Who else did you say?
Cam Reddish.
Cam Reddish, yeah. Cam Reddish I think is still not. He's not really there yet, to be honest. You know who picked up a ton of steam? We talked about this last week. Is Chuma Okeke. So the way, I mean, if you look at his cards have just exploded. I haven't looked in probably about a week.
Mitch, I'm going to tell you what good investment is. It's a defensive first player on a small market bad team. That's how you make a lot of money in the hobby.
Oh yeah, 100%. Might as well.
You want defensive statistics in a small market.
Chuma Okeke sells for more than Mo Bamba. It's not even close.
Really.
It's not even close. I think he probably doubles him in a PSA 10 Silver Prism. I want to say, without looking right now, just based off what I've seen in the past, I want to say Chuma is doubling Mo Bamba on that card. Chuma sells for as much.
I'm still in on Mo Bamba.
Chuma sells for as much, if not more, in some cases. At least he was last week. Like I said, I haven't checked this week. He was selling for as much, if not more, than Triple J Silver Prism.
Oh, come on.
I'm not making it up. I'm not making it up.
Already a borderline.
Now keep in mind, if you had the foresight to buy 1,000 Chuma Okeke Silvers when they were selling for $2 each, you would have spent $2,000, and now you'd have $40,000 because they're selling for about $40 raw on eBay. Actually, you know what? I got eBay up right here. I'm gonna look right now. Hold on, I got eBay up. I'm gonna look. Chuma Okeke. We're gonna look it up.
Horrific knee injury, Mitchell.
Who? What?
He's coming off.
Oh, I know. But it's the MPJ thing. It's where they're looking for that low value guy. And now I don't even know where the hype came from, to be honest with you, because there's no freaking sports being played. There's no trainers. Like, he's in he was G League. He's not even signed to the Magic yet. Or not on their NBA roster, anyway.
Mitch, why am I selling $7 Sam Darnold for $70? Because I'm a Mekhi Becton?
This is what I would suggest everyone does. Like, hold on.
Sell everything you humanly have?
No. Well, yeah, you could do that, but yeah, I mean they came down a little. No, these are bids. I'm sorry. These aren't even finished. 14. Oh no, these are finished. Okay, hold on. Let me do ended recently. So these came down a little bit, the PSA 10s. So, but look, May 15th, look what that was selling for. $249, $199. That one's April 6th. Look at what they were selling for on April 6th, $85. So in the matter of a month, they went up to $249. Now they're a little bit in the ballpark again at $127, $139. I think people woke the hell up. But I mean, the raws. Look at what the raws are selling for. And I swear to you, I could swear to you that you could have gotten these probably for like $2, probably 2 months ago. They're selling anywhere from $28 to $40. One sold for $40 today. $39, June 1st. So, figure $40 on the high. And like I said, if you bought 1,000 of those at like $2 each, I don't know if I could scroll all the way back. I probably can't go that far back to see what they're selling for. I'm not that skilled to see what they were going for, like 2 months ago. But I would I would gander that they were selling probably. I would say you could probably get them for under $5 back then. Even at $5, you're making $35,000 just by buying 1,000 of those. Now, I'm not saying to go buy 1,000 $1 silver prisms because, again, you don't know who's going to pan out and who's not.
I'm telling anyone who's listening to buy any Chumo Kiki card you can find.
No, I mean just in general, but like this is why I will never. This is what I don't. I'm not going to go buy a ton of the $1 or $2 silver prisms, but I'm not going to sell them either. So I have a box full of, guys that if I sold them right now, I wouldn't get more than $5 for. What's the point of selling that if the guy turns out great? I could quadruple my money or then grade it and then sell it for even that much more if somebody pans out.
The example is the card I just sold that you sent me the text message back, who, with question marks and exclamation points.
Yeah.
So I sold a Kent Banker, he's the Falcons backup quarterback, for $6 on eBay.
Yes.
And in retrospect, I what am I going to do with $6?
Right.
But do you realize if Brian went down and he has one good game, just one, what do you think I'm selling that card for, Mitch? Minimum, about 100 minimum?
You could get $100 for that easy. Listen, I got burned. I don't think we talked about the Tony Romo burn. But once I learned a very valuable lesson with that situation. So
and
I'll
tell
I will tell them. I will tell them the story.
Tell them what your co-host said to you.
So we were. I don't remember what you told me. You could tell them what you said back then. So it's probably 2006. I would say maybe. Yeah, it's got to be. It's 2006.
It was right at the end of us collecting.
No. That was like mid range.
And it might have been 5. His rookie's is in what?
2003 is his rookie card.
Oh, you're right. It's in 3. Okay.
2005.
Yeah.
This was definitely 2006. I know for a fact. So we're 2006, and we would go to the local card shop on payday. We're in our early mid 20s. And like the cool dudes that we were, we were either at the bar drinking or we were at the card shop chasing LeBron rookies and Sidney Crosbys and all that shit. So I decided to get a 2003 SP Authentic, and I was buying up a ton of those because at the time Carson Palmer was blowing up.
And Leftwich was not a team.
And Leftwich was still, yeah. So you had you had Willis McGahee in that class.
Larry Johnson.
Yeah, Larry. You had a lot of good guys at the time. Larry Johnson was ridiculous.
Larry Johnson was on fire.
Oh my God, he was so the Centaur. Remember that?
Fucking Centaur.
That for you guys was what the Kansas City radio announcer would call Larry Johnson. The Centaur, and he would say it just like that.
This is back in the Stone Age.
Yes.
Before Red Zone, when we would listen.
Yes.
To the local, we bought the NFL.
We bought the NFL radio package.
Yes. We bought the NFL audio package.
Yes.
Which Mitch also listened to the preseason games on.
I definitely did.
Beyond explanation.
Listen, we are diehard fantasy football
but anyways,
players.
We're sidetracked. It's okay.
Yeah,
to do it
but anyway, that's a funny story too that they would. I missed that. The Centaur. You would just hear that and then go running to the radio to see if, or the computer to see if he scored. So here's the story. So I buy a box of 2003 SP Authentic, chasing down one of those guys that we were just talking about. And in those boxes, what you would get would be, I believe it was 2 autos and a relic. And one of the autos was a rookie auto, and one of them was like an auto that they wouldn't guarantee anything on, and then you would get like a relic. It was some sort of combination like that.
I think it was 1-1, Mitch.
1-1. Okay, so 1-1. So for my rookie auto, I pulled a Tony Romo, who at the time, he still wasn't a starter. He was nowhere on the road when did he start starting? He wasn't a starter in 2000.
Maybe 08.
So it might have been because it had to be at least a year before he even played.
Yeah.
Because there's no way I would have sold that card. So
maybe 07, 08. I'd have to look it up, but they're probably in that range.
Anyway,
he wasn't close to being a starter.
I do remember what you said now. So I pulled it out, and I literally said,
your esteemed co-host would like his credit.
I said to you, I still remember, I opened it, I'm in the driver's seat of my car, because we would often go to the card shop, then open the cards in the car. And I opened it, and I'm ripping through the packs, and I go, who the F is Tony Romo? And the auto was like smeared because the SP Authentic cards were glossy, and they didn't have the nice little area that they put on cards now where you could sign.
Glossy was not the word. It was like they sprayed those things with lights on.
It looked like a fresh basketball court, basically. Like when they lacquer it or whatever they put on a basketball court. Like if I put that on the floor and then rub my sneaker on it, it would squeak.
It did.
It would.
Looked like they put fucking lacquer on it. You're right.
Yeah. So I'm like, who the fuck is Tony Romo? And then you look at me, you go, Eastern Illinois or something like that. And I turn the back of the card, and he fucking played at Eastern Illinois. I was like, how did you even know that? I shouldn't have even questioned you, but you knew. And you said, he's got upside, and he's a Cowboy. He's like, that's not a bad card. So I'm like, all right, cool. Stick it in a penny sleeve. I don't know what happened. I think then the football season rolls around. He's still.
I don't remember. Honestly, Mitch, after that day, and I clearly
it gets fuzzy.
I don't remember
after that.
I don't think I ever saw the card again.
It gets I might have sold it immediately. Like you might have said he's a Cowboy, and then I was just like, you know what, I'm just gonna
sell it standalone. And did you have to lot that?
No, I sold it standalone. But here's what happened. I sold it, and as we did back then, we always started out auctions at 99 cents because eBay would charge you more if you started your auctions at a higher price. That is how the 99 cent auction started. Because I think if we were over $1, you got they would charge you like a nickel for I forget what it was, but for some reason, the reason why we start at 99 cents is and all the OG eBayers probably remember that. I think I could swear that's why. Maybe I'm confused. It was 15 years ago. 15.
And that's when shipping was cheap, so you probably did what, $2.75?
I don't even remember what the shipping was back then.
Yeah, I don't. $2.75, I think was
I don't remember. But so what do? I end up listing Tony Romo rookie auto out of $9.99 actually. So it wasn't even that rare of a card. It might have been $4.99. I don't remember. But it's not an RPA. And just so you know, anyone who didn't get an RPA was not and some guys that even got RPAs were stretching it. But the guys that didn't have RPAs, you were like if they didn't give you an RPA, there was no reason for you to even have an auto.
Well, there were guys in SP Authentic that didn't even get drafted.
Yes, exactly. That's what I mean. Romo wasn't drafted, right?
That's true. Romo didn't get drafted.
Romo didn't get drafted. Yeah, so exactly. So those are the guys that didn't get RPA. So when I got those cards, a lot of times I still have, literally, Steve, I can rip out the box right now. I have literally a box. If anyone wants old NFL autographs and jersey cards from 2004 to 2008, of guys that never panned out. Some guys did. I have some Sean Taylor cards that are pretty cool, but for the most part, none of those guys panned out, and I have them in a commons box, the autos that we would pull. Craig Bragg is another one of those guys that we pulled an awful lot. But anyway, Tony Romo. So I list it, Cowboys rookie auto, 99 cents, and it's sold for 99 cents. And usually, if a card doesn't get a couple bids by then, I think What'd we do? Like 7-day auctions, maybe 5.
Yeah, we did.
Let's say I did a 7-day auction.
We did use the 7. We had even done 10. We did some 10s.
Yeah. By like day 5, a lot of times if a card's not even getting a bid, I might pull it down. I might, wait, sit on it,
and
or try to lot it.
If you have younger people listening, it's not like now. It was a different time.
No.
If you didn't have a bid by then, you weren't getting it.
Now I think any quarterback would sell. Like, I think
right
people
now,
just are quarterback
in
crazy.
this market right now, if you had the Cowboys third-string quarterback in that card would sell for $30.
Oh, yeah. So, it sells for 99 cents, guys. Tony Romo wins the starting job, I think, a year later. That card went up to, I think, somewhere around 200. Then he becomes like a Pro Bowl, All-Pro type quarterback. Another year or two later, that card is selling for, I want to say it was touching like, and this is raw, guys, like $500-$600. It finally settled. I think
you're even understating.
Yeah, I think it was. I think at its hottest point, that card might have been $1,000. I can't remember.
I want to say we saw 4 figures on that card multiple times. Yeah.
Yeah, but that's not even graded. Like, because a lot of people weren't grading back then. But
no, that wasn't I would say maybe 1 out of every. No, that was rare.
So, long story short, I learned a very valuable lesson. So, even if I pull a silver prism or anything, I'm not selling that to anyone for 99 cents.
I'm enjoying your former opening stories. I'd like to hear the Sidney Crosby story.
Oh, Lord. All right, Sidney Crosby. So.
Now, let me just premise this for anyone listening.
Okay.
Mitch spent a lot of money. And to those who don't know, Sidney Crosby was way hotter than even Connor McDavid. He was probably the hottest since Lindros in that sport.
Yeah.
So, needless to say, the Ovechkin and, for most part, Crosby chase was expensive.
Hockey was.
I want to say those hockey boxes went for much more than even the football.
Hockey was super expensive back then, like out of control. Pricing, like it was what basketball is now, basically. It was exactly like that. There was a short
time when hockey was the hottest thing out.
I agree 100%. And like you weren't upset if you got an Ovechkin, but it was nothing like getting a Crosby. Like it was like John Morant and Zion.
It would be like pulling a jaw.
Yeah,
compared to pulling
you're happy with a jaw, but it's not gonna get you near what a Zion.
Yeah,
gonna bring
you're not pissed if you pull a jaw, but it's not Zion.
So what we would do back in 2005, 6, 7. Back then we were still bachelors. We're out of college. We were roommates. We shared an apartment, and Friday was payday. And, when you don't have a family and stuff like that, I had a lot of disposable income. I was, I moved up the corporate ladder pretty fast, not tapping myself on the shoulder.
And I will be the first one to admit, when it came to buying cards, Mitch had a lot bigger balls than I did. So he took a lot bigger chances.
Well, I still, I live and die by that rule because it's you pay what you get for. So, and don't get me wrong, if you can pull some outstanding cards out of lower end stuff, but if I'm going to spend the money, I'm going to spend the money. That's just the way, because I want that. You win big or you lose big. So I don't have that gene where I'm like, I'm just going to buy this, like little things. Anyway, so I would go to the card shop and literally drop like a G. So this night, I'm in the card shop.
And we're talking about a G in 2005.
Yeah. I'm at the card shop, and I would buy and I was like, you know what? I'm going to buy a bunch of hockey. Now, the SP Authentic hockey back then, the prices, I want to say they were even too risky. I didn't want to even mess with them. I can't remember. I don't think I ever did.
No.
No, I did. No, I got SPX. I would buy SPX.
Yeah. So I don't think you ever bought an SP Authentic.
I did not get SP Authentic because I want to say those boxes were upwards, and you're talking 2005, over like $600-700 back then. Which
You would
back
remember
then,
than I would. You collect
which
hockey
back
with-
then you could get a decent hobby box for $60 to $100, and you're talking about a hobby box of 2003, 2004.
Oh my God, Mitch! For $100, you can get a really good box.
Yeah. When I look at what boxes sold for back, I wonder what those boxes sell for now. But I don't know if Crosby I don't think they had RPAs in SP Authentic either. I can't remember if they had RPAs. I think they just had a regular auto card, which may have been another reason why I didn't go there. Anyway, so I decided to get Black Diamond. Now,
I always think the story is trilogy, but it's Black Diamond.
it is Black Diamond. It's Upper Deck Black Diamond. Yeah. And I used to buy a lot of Upper Deck, regular Upper Deck for the Young Guns cards, which those were also really hard to pull. And those were actually pretty expensive for regular Upper Deck.
And for a later podcast, we have an excellent story of how I won Mitch's Sidney Crosby Young Guns from him. But we will get to that.
I don't remember that story, so I can't wait to hear it. But I'm sure it was playing NCAA football at some point.
It was. But continue.
So I decided to buy the Black Diamond, and I'm tearing through packs. And like the Crosby was worth like $1,000 back then, and Black Diamond, which was a lot for a card back then. I know every Zion seems like pops out of a pack, and but for in 2005-ish. 2006, that was a lot for a card.
Yeah, in 2006, if you pulled a great card, you're talking, just to pull what Mitch is saying in perspective, a great card you pulled was maybe $200-300.
Yeah, like the Eli Manning RPA in SP Authentic was like a $300 card.
Yeah, so just to put that in perspective, this is
you could get an Aaron Rodgers RPA for like $100. I used to buy them for less than $100.
So this is no joke.
Yeah, it was like $1,000. I open up the pack, and mind you, Black Diamond is like a little bit of a foil on it. So I'm opening all the cards. Everything's going smooth. I get to the... Bam! Hit the Sidney Crosby. Flip out. The corner of the card. And it was the only card bent in the whole case.
And when you say bent, I mean, it honestly looks like someone...
Hold on. I'm going to take an old paper Bowman of Lucas... And it literally...
A visual demonstration of what this card looked like.
It was literally like that. Like, bent like that, people. Like, I'm not even exaggerating.
Mitch, let me see the card. Let me move the camera so I can see.
Like that.
Yes, that's a...
It was literally, maybe not that... It wasn't like that because...
Not too far off.
No, but when you take it out of the pack, it's impossible to be like that, but you could tell it was like that.
Yeah.
It had a crease on it. It was bent a little, and I was just like, you gotta be kidding me. And I actually...
This is way before you could call the company and send it in. You couldn't do that shit.
I got it graded, though, because I was like, if I'm going to sell this,
yeah,
I got to get it graded. And it graded a 7. So, I actually sold it because the rest of the card was perfect except for that freaking corner. But that corner was... I wish I kept records of, like, the cards I graded back then and all that stuff, because there's tons of other stores we got like that, but the card, it was just the most heartbreaking moment one of my most heartbreaking moments of opening cards and finally hitting that card, and then to see it in that condition was just gut-wrenching. And it was like and I think I still sold it for like $400 and a BGS7. I think it still went for like $400. So I think I made my money back on the box, so I was still okay with it. But like, just to see that was gut wrenching. That was one of the... I mean, we have so many stories. The Tony Romo and that one is just... that's just the tip of the iceberg with some of the bonehead shit we've done through the years, or that's happened.
Yes.
So
yes.
But that's a good one. Thanks for bringing it up, by the way. Yeah. So that's all I had for this week, Steve. Like we were saying before, like, who knows where this... And I don't know how this this got to this point, but we were talking about 2020 and how the cards are at this ridiculous peak, and the greatest peak we've probably ever seen, and it makes no sense.
When does 1920 NT go live, Mitch?
I don't know. I'd have to look. I think
Some
pretty
people are
soon.
estimating that those are going to end at about 15 grand.
Oh, you mean the first off the lines?
Oh, those first off the line?
Those are
I
first
thought
off the
those- I
lines.
didn't realize those were.
No, those are first off the lines that you see for the Dutch right now. So usually the regular product follows not too far behind.
Yeah, someone was estimating those are going to end at about 15 grand.
That's one box.
That's one box.
Oh, wow. Wow. Like,
Mitch,
why?
how do you-
Why?
I don't know. But Mitch, we've been saying why for 3 months.
Oh, I've been saying why since October-ish of last year. I've never saw a jump in cards like, and then I thought it was going to stop. And every time I thought it was going to stop, it just kept going. Like, I thought I sold off, and I'm a big Luka Doncic collector. And I sold off a bunch of them because I was like, there's no way. And he had a couple ankle injuries. I was like, there's no way he's going to sell for more than where he is right now. It's just impossible.
Mitch,
no,
let me give you a
I was
quick,
dead wrong.
I was looking on eBay today. So I told you my horrific Rams-Bills debacle from my break the other night.
Yep.
So I was looking up Dickerson just for ha-has. And I know you bought a lot of 84 tops chasing PSA 10s and BGS 9s.
Yes.
There is a Dickerson, not a Marino or Elway, a Dickerson, PSA 10 right now on eBay, going for $850 with 6 days left.
Wow. I should have not sold my oh man, what's the card I had? Oh man, why can't I think of his name? I have him in my mind, but I can't think of his name. What the hell is his name? The Oilers running back, 34.
Earl Campbell.
Oh yeah, Earl Campbell. Rookie card, 9.5. And I sold it for
what did you sell that for?
$700 last year.
Oh God, that's probably $2,700 right now.
If not more, in this market. If not more. That's that.
How in the world
Another.
did you have Earl Campbell in it? How did you get that card again?
I bought that at a card show, I think. Literally for like $3.
Oh my God!
At Westchester when we went that year, when you pulled the Jay Cutler auto, that's when I bought that card.
Oh my God!
And I bought it at that card show for like maybe $5 tops. I think it was cheap. It was under $10, and I was like, wow, this is a great deal because I think like they were $20 raw, I think. So I was like, I'm getting this for less than half. I was like, yeah, I'll buy that. And it was in decent condition, but it fucking graded a 9.5. I didn't think it was in that good condition. And I definitely undersold that one. So what are you going to do? Who would have known the market would be where it is today? That's what I'm saying. You sell when you can make your money and you can't look back, and that's that. Because you could just torture yourself, get the money now because there's no saying what's going to happen tomorrow, the day after, especially in this environment we're in now. I would not be holding much except for cards that you're only going to get, that you're not afraid of getting the same amount or less, a little bit less. Like for a $5 card, I'm not going to sell right now. I'm just not. Like, it's not worth it right now. I'll be selling like $100 cards, $150 cards, $200 cards. If you have cards like that, especially guys that we talk about this all the time, the LeBron hype is absurd. I understand how great he is, but the fact that his cards sell for where they are is mind-boggling. So you base cards in 2020 Prism for $20, $15, $20, that's where it starts getting like, okay, this is foolish because one day I don't know if those are gonna appreciate that much. Like I just don't see that. I just don't. I don't understand that. Like, why are people paying veterans as much as they do when they're not rare? that's the part of the hobby that I think, or this industry, that may start to get a little sketchy. But as long as people are willing to pay for it, like we always say, your cards are only worth what people are willing to pay for them. If people are willing to pay for them, they're worth that much. It may not make sense to me or to you or to anyone else, but to the person it makes sense to, they're gonna buy it. And then now with eBay, and everyone uses that instead of the old Beckett monthlies or whatever. Now it goes by, the previous sales, the comps. Okay, all these sales now. You see there's a LeBron superfan that just bought 5 LeBrons and jacked up the price on those. Now the next guy that's selling it is going to want the same amount. So it makes sense. It makes sense, although I don't fully think it's that part of it can hold up.
No, it can't hold up.
No.
If I had to say to sell one thing, it would be get rid of as many of those veteran parallels, those veteran jerseys, because those they have no room for appreciation. They just don't.
Nope. And so I mean, I don't know where this. Nobody knows where this is going. That's the crazy thing. Everyone tries to act like this and that. You got slab stocks out there. They throw out their generic information. I love their graphs, don't get me wrong, but they're not giving you anything that you can't look up on your own. It's just right there, right in your face. I don't have to do a lot of research. And
I think this is a fun time, at least for me, in my position now. There's not going to be another point in my life, I don't think, unless something drastic happens in my life, where I'm going to go away from the hobby. So I'm pretty much in for good. So I look at this as a win-win. If the hobby keeps going at this pace, then it's, anything you pretty much get in a break or pull in a box, you can sell. So it's very safe. And if it doesn't, then if it goes back down, then there's incredible room to buy and pick off cards for cheap and wait for the next boom. So if you're really in it for the long haul, it's really a win-win for that type of collector, because you either look forward to the day where you can get cards for cheap, or you pretty much anything you get in a break you can sell.
Yeah.
So it's really a win-win.
Yeah. I just don't know if the trend continues. Are the card companies going to put measures in place so that people can't use bots and gobble up all stuff and then sell it at a premium? Because when you're selling the product at a premium, then the secondary cards have to follow it. Otherwise, if they don't, it's almost artificially inflated. Because I have this box of Mosaic on the table right now. That's a $700 box. Why? You know what I'm saying? It's a $500, $600, whatever it is. What drives the market? That it's because the allocations. It's because people can't go to their local Target and Walmart or whatever and get their pack fix. So now I'm forced to either buy it on the secondary market for double and triple and quadruple, or go to a card break, which is great because it makes it affordable. But at the end of the day, the card prices have to follow that, because otherwise, what's the point? It doesn't make sense.
And you ran into a lot of that the first time around in 05, 06. Boxes got to a point where, Mitch, we would get a box, and even if you hit the best card in the box, it wasn't the box.
Right.
When you get to that level, what are you doing?
Let's say I just loved cards, which I do, but if the cards were priced where they are now, and then didn't hold any secondary value, I would not be doing. I would not be in it for just the love of the cards. I'll look at them online and other people's pictures and look at the beauty of the card and admire the card the way people go to an art museum, because I can't afford these beautiful paintings, or some people can't, so they're going to go to or an art exhibit where you do have the option to buy it, or you're just going to go look at it. Like, is that where we're shifting to a more of a, where this is becoming priced to a point where if I can't get on this, it doesn't make sense for me to open a box of cards if I get 1/5 or 10% of the value back. It's not even it's fun, but you can't do that and keep doing it, if that makes sense.
No, you'll be broke.
No, it's like going to the movies once in a while. You'll go to the movies, and that's it. Like, there's no way you could possibly continue. Like, you almost have to go to breakers, because if you want product at a reasonable cost, where I could do this, maybe I could get a pack of cards here or there, or a box of cards here or there if I'm doing it through a breaker. That's different because it's much more compartmentalized and cheaper. So. But at the end of the day, you can't just open these. It's like it's worse than driving your car off the lot. Like,
Mitch, do you realize
it's literally
came back
insane.
to the hobby, so it's been almost a couple of years now, close.
Yep.
I have not bought a single non-blaster box of cards.
Until recently, I was the same way. I would only buy blasters at Walmart, and then I do the occasional card break.
You can't justify it.
And then I was like,
I'd love to buy a football box, but I cannot justify dropping $450 on a box of Spectra, and I just can't.
I bought a ton of Prism this year, not hobby, because that's $1,100 a box. That's another story. $1,100 for a box of Prism.
Which makes no sense because the autos are dog shit. So.
No, it's a refractor / prism based product. So it's just I don't know, man. It's like these cards are the cards that wouldn't even be considered quote unquote premium brands. Like back in the day, you knew you were paying more for the premium brand, which we call the NT and the Flawless now, and probably like Impeccables and stuff, the higher end stuff. Baseball, you're talking like your dynasties. You knew you were going to pay a premium for that, and there's a chance to really pull some great shit out of it or totally shit the bed. And then you could opt for your mid-tier stuff or low-end stuff, like your Playoff Honors back then. We lived off Playoff Honors in 2004. Which was a very solid product.
I challenge anybody to. I wonder. And you know what's funny? Those boxes have held value over the years. But continue.
That product was probably my favorite product of all time, football-wise, to open. It was affordable. You got hits out of it, out of the wazoo. The resale was great. It just was a good product. 2004 Playoff Honors. Back then, it was a solid product. You don't have those.
That's one of my top 5 favorite products of all time is 04 Honors.
You do not have that type of product anymore. These boxes that are mid-tier, or what I would consider mid-tier, like when I came back into the hobby industry after being out for probably 10 years, I looked at Prism as low end.
What do you consider mid-tier?
I thought Prism was low end because anything you could buy in Walmart when we collected in the mid-2000s was lower end. I could get Prism, and I was like, what's Prism? Like, I didn't understand that Topps Chrome became Prism. You know what I mean? It kind of shifted there. And I was like, well, Topps Chrome was one of the lower end products back then. Topps and Topps Chrome was something that, we could buy a bunch of because it was low. Hobby boxes, we'll get our one autograph, get a bunch of refractors. You could get a box of
Topps Chrome in 2005 for $65.
Yeah, they were under $100. Like, a lot of those boxes were under $100. I'm not saying, because obviously it's 15 years later, but like $700 for a box, I mean, I could see, I don't think it should have been that drastic of a shift. Back then, you even had less product, too. So, if anything, they should have been charging a little bit more back then, because there's much fewer products. Now they're pumping out products over and over again, and you're taking away the lower tier products and almost putting them into that high tier category where these cards were never really meant to be there. They're just not. Like, the premium products are the NTs, the Flawlesses, the Immaculates, all those type things. These cards, these mosaics, the prisms, the hoops. Like hoops was a joke back. That was for kids. When we were, you know what I mean, in the mid 2000s, early 2000s. Hoops.
I mean, you take a like football. I mean, certified is not supposed to be a high-end product.
No.
And boxers are selling for $200-$300.
No,
I mean, that's not supposed to be a high-end product.
No. Contenders is primarily paper. You get one auto. What do you get? 2 autos in that? Something different.
I don't know. I hate
2 in basketball. I think you get 1 or 2 in basketball, and I think you get like 4. But like you never like it's so watered down because there's so many autographs, and it's a majority. It's a paper product. Like there's nothing special in contenders except for the autos, and the prices they used to charge even back then were insane.
Yeah, unless you're getting a super short print. You know, I'm talking super short print, like maybe 10 and under, 15 and under. You're not selling it.
Yeah. As long as we see these hobby boxes and cases, because obviously, you know, the prices that they're at, as long as the resale value of the cards kind of keeps pace with it, I think that they could still demand those prices. The minute that people stop buying the secondary market cards, I don't see how you could sustain. There'll be no demand for actual product, if that makes sense. There's just it can't work that way. It just wouldn't. Who would want to open up these boxes if the cards you're pulling out you're already, the odds are stacked against you. But if you're don't even have the opportunity to resell it, and the opportunity to get that card where, okay, maybe I could quadruple my box cost, which very rarely happens. I mean, I think honestly the best product, I told you this, was for value over the past, probably, you know, since all this hype started, was NT college basketball product. And the reason why was because I think they cut the print run short.
That's a hard product to find.
They cut the print run short. I'm pretty sure I'm accurate on this, but they cut the print run short. So rather, you know, these cases are actually stacked. Like I think you average like a Zion a case, RPA. I'm pretty sure like you average something like that, something crazy like that, because the print runs were cut so short. You're pretty much guaranteed a Zion like every 4 boxes or something crazy like that. And the resale of the cards at the time were much high. Like you were getting back in value something like 60 or 70% on your box cost if you opened it, which is unheard of. It's unheard of to recoup that much on average out of a box.
Yeah, I would say you're much closer to the 20-30%.
If you get 20 on average, that's actually really good. That's the scary part. But if you're doing 20-25% return on your investment, like if you open up a box of Prism Hobby for $1,100, the odds are you're going to pull cards for less than $200 out of that box. And then you do the math on that. That's like,
I mean,
15%.
I've seen you do personal breaks for Prism Retail, where literally, I mean, even that's not even.
You're not making your $400.
But I remember you had one horrific box open. I remember talking to you after that. I don't think you got.
I stopped buying Prism Retail boxes.
You remember that especially horrific box you got?
I couldn't do it anymore. I switched to Cellos and Fast Break, and that's where I got the majority of my silvers, a Zion silver, a John Morant silver. I got a lot of it out of those products. The retail was tough, very tough. But I'll leave it at that. So who knows where this is heading? I love it. I mean, like I said, we need that escape right now. Cards are bringing that, but it's scary too because there's so much uncertainty out there, and as we know, this, the cards have been bucking the trend. Everything says that people should be unloading cards, and they should be going down in value when people are losing their jobs and everything that's going on around us. But that hasn't happened yet. The complete opposite has happened. And that's why we say we're in the upside down, because we are. I mean, we really are. I love it, and I hope it continues, because we're having a lot of fun, and it's bringing all new people into the hobby and stuff. And but who knows? That's the only thing. If anyone tells you they know, they're wrong. The only advice I would ever give anyone is don't sell a card for 99 cents unless you absolutely have to, or $2 or $3 if it's like a silver prism or an autograph of a quarterback or anything like that. Unless you absolutely need that money, hang on to that card, because...
And I've done something where I know with my cards, my personal cards, if I'm going to put a card on, and I'd recommend everybody do this, if you're going to put a card on eBay, list it for minimum $4.99, $5.99. I'd say $5.99 because with shipping, at least you're getting $10. At least you don't have a horrific story. Don't start a card at 99 cents. After the shipping and the envelope, what are you really making? A quarter? 50 cents? List it at $5.99. If it doesn't get a bid, it doesn't get a bid, and you keep it. So, I've pretty much held to that pretty tightly.
And I agree. So, with that being said, that is our episode 10. We're coming back on Wednesday. I think Thursday also. We're going to interview Austin from Platinum Card Breaks and hear a little bit about how he got into card breaking and his ideas on the hobby and where it's going and stuff like that. I thought it would be cool. We're going to call that segment Meet the Breakers. And we're going to hopefully start interviewing some breakers out there to see what's on their minds. And so that you guys can meet them, especially you guys new in the industry. And then you could go with who you're comfortable with. Of course, we do our own breaks here. This box right here is listed on Instagram right now. Tiered teams, if you're interested, jump in on it. Send us a message. Steve, any closing remarks?
No, Mitch. We only planned on talking for about 15 minutes today.
Yeah.
And we went about an hour and 10. So,
yeah.
I don't know. I'm looking forward to the next one because this, like I said, this is a nice escape from reality right now, and I know we'll have something fun to talk about on Wednesday.
Oh, I agree. We'll think of a good topic. We have tomorrow to think about it. So, thanks for watching, if you did watch. If not, then we just wasted an hour and 20 minutes of our time. But, hey, we had fun doing it. Click subscribe. Follow us on Instagram, Monster Hits Club, on Twitter, First Pitch Mitch. Steve, you don't have any of those things, do you?
No, I got to get them, though. They're in the works.
Steve is anti-social media, and
in the works.
That's that's your new nickname, anti-social media Steve. We got it. All right, guys, have a good night. Stay safe.